Good morning, everyone, and unfortunately, welcome back to Port Canaveral, which means the cruise is finally over. We are back to port, and it's the saddest day because it is Debarkation Day here from the beautiful Disney Treasure cruise ship, and they are going to be kicking us off bright and early this morning. So today we have we have a little bit of things to do. I want to go down to get services, send off a couple postcards. Breakfast at 8:15. We start leaving the ship starting at 7:30, and pretty much all of us need to be off by 10 o'clock because people are coming in because they are turning the ship around. This is the first time the ship will be turned around, and they'll be getting ready for people to get on for the next wave. So it's just so sad. I don't like it, and I don't want to. So, but fortunately, that's how cruising goes. It's gonna be some time before we get to be back on the Disney Treasure. But I'm so thankful that we're on it now. So hang out with us this morning, and then once we are off the ship, we are going to be doing an entire merchandise haul from things we bought, things we got, and everything else. So make sure you stick around for that, and just some final thoughts of the Disney Treasure and our entire cruise experience. So make sure if you haven't done so, you are subscribed to the channel, leave a like, and welcome back to Port Canaveral on a very chilly morning, actually. So a couple things I want to just quickly describe is the reason we do have breakfast at 8:15 scheduled at our dinner location from last night. However, they still split it based on first and second dining. Because we ended up having second dining, we have second breakfast this morning, which means we have to kind of hang out on the ship a little bit longer. There are two ways about getting off the ship that you can do. You can do express walk off, or you can have it, or you can wait till they call your character on your luggage tag. So like we have Gray Daisy, so you have to wait till they call Gray Daisy because we put our luggage last night, and so they will be starting, since we've been parked for a while, they're starting to take that off. They'll start organizing it, start telling us when we can start leaving the ship based on that. So that's kind of the interesting thing, is that that's how you get off the ship here. You can, like I said, as soon as they're docked, if you got your luggage, right off. Don't have to wait. But because you may have to wait on your suitcases, you may have to wait a little bit on that. And so, but like I said, really quickly, head down to guest services, send off a couple postcards, and then, I don't know, maybe go up for some hot chocolate. Because like I said, it is cold at Florida this morning compared to the last couple days. I'm not ready for the cold. It's been nice being in some heat. So the thing about it is there are people already lined up to leave. They do say that the express walk-off, which is what these people are doing right now, this is good if you do have a flight that is before 12:30, because you don't have to wait for your bags to come off. Now for like me and Kayla, because one, we're not coming out of Miami this time, we are just only less than an hour and a half from home, we want to walk off slowly. So to send off postcards here, you could come up to guest services, and they will be more than happy to give you a Bahamian stamp, which I forgot to get a picture of. But then they will send it from Castaway Cay the next time they are docked, and so that is the kind of the cool thing, because that's why I wanted to send those off. They were about 65 cents a piece, so not too bad. But take the last little looks of the beautiful Disney Treasure. So sad to be leaving this beautiful ship. It's a gorgeous ship, and I cannot wait for other people to see this ship. Like, there are people who will be joining today, but it's been 7 fun-filled days, and I'm so excited. So let's head up to deck 11 so I can get some hot chocolate. Now, another thing also is that you can have breakfast at Marceline Market if you would like, and I think Marceline Market opened at like 6 a.m. or 6:45. My watch is still not fixed. I gotta figure that out. But you can have breakfast here or go to your sit-down location. Like I said, because we are not in a rush to get off, we wanted to stay as long as possible because we don't want this trip to end. Never got anything from Jumbo Sweets. Mostly because there's free ice cream everywhere on this trip, on the ship. Like I said, I just wanted to come out to the top deck. Just a little more looking around. One last look. Ooh, I don't think I slept on my leg right. I completely just, going through the terminal was so cool, but it was a blur because we got right on the ship. Oh look, there's the EMS Seashore, for which we did the Seashore, us, and the Wonder of the Seas all did 7-night cruising, and so we all ended up back at Port Canaveral on the same exact day. I will say I do hope that on the next cruisings, they do get all the little kinks and issues worked out. They did get the aqua mounts working on by day 3 for us, so that was fantastic. The Tale of Moana show got to operate 2 nights, which is great, which they were struggling with on the Transatlantic, because on the Transatlantic they were doing more testing. But man, I'm gonna miss walking out to this deck. The first time walking out here, it was so confusing. I had to figure out where everything was. Oh, this is such a gorgeous ship, and I am so excited for it to be added to the fleet, which makes me super excited for when the Destiny does debut as well, because the Destiny is going to be all about the what do you call it? It is all about heroes and villains. Well, hot chocolate machine wasn't working, so I just got some just regular coffee. But yeah, let's do a little walk around on deck 12 really quick. See the final views of everything. They are getting everything ready for the next sailing, because even though this is still not the maiden voyage, they are getting ready for another preview cruise that's going to be going to the Western Caribbean. We were on the Eastern Caribbean one, and these are the preview cruises are going along the itineraries that the Treasure will be following once it does open up and goes through the maiden voyage, because it's taking over the Fantasies itinerary, and I see why. This ship really will work wonders with it. But yeah, looked at the biggest thing was that not all the pools were not open every day. And also the other weird part is only having 1 hot tub on this ship. It's really weird. Hopefully we're going on another cruise in March. Maybe going on the Dream again. Maybe go on the Fantasy for one of their 5 to 6 night sailings. But don't know when next time we'll go on a Canaveral though. Unless we do get a Fantasy, but it's always a little more expensive to go out of Canaveral. And I think it's purely because of the location where everything is. So sad morning. It's just one of those mornings. It's, you know, it's the stereotypical, you've been on this cruise, we've been on this ship for 7 days, we've come to love this ship. This is now my newest, this is my favorite ship out of the cruise line fleet. I have a special place in my heart for the Magic, as it was the place for my first cruise. And then I do love the Dream, but man, the Treasure, this ship, beautiful and stunning, and I cannot wait for more and more people to get to experience this ship. I think this is going to become the new favorite of the cruise line fleet. The Fantasy is the favorite right now, and people do love the Magic, but the Fantasy I think is going to be the favorite moving forward. And then this one is going to take over that, and then there was jokes about the Destiny will take over that, because it does become the hero versus villains storyline. Oh, and they do have that side kind of blocked off because they have started refueling. Gives you an idea. Refueling we got on the ship around noon, and refueling was done at 4, and they started as soon as the ship is docked. So you're talking 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. for it to be completely done and be completely full, ready to go. So, but what's nice, we're parked right there, and like I said, we're only an hour and a half away from home. Even that, I think on it, that's a busy day as well. So we'll be off early enough, avoid all the traffic. But what's cool, we're next to one of the Princess, the Caribbean Princess, of the Princess Cruise Line. Alright, one last sit-down meal this morning. Plaza de Coco for breakfast. So last morning, some breakfast.
So it's popular morning.
Breakfast favorites.
Yeah. We would need like 3 hours.
So I got the Southern hash with scrambled eggs. Looks very good. And then some chocolate chip pancakes for the road. Last sit-down meal. One final look at the beautiful Disney Treasure. I don't want to get off though. I told Kayla, I go, can we just figure out how to stay on and just do it back-to-back? I'll even stay in a closet room. I'll stay in a broom closet. Plenty of place to go to the bathroom. You can shower in the spa. Some way just to stay on the ship a little longer. Such a gorgeous ship. It's been an amazing time. this is going to be the crown jewel of the Disney Cruise Line fleet. I feel like now this is such a fantastic ship, and it's so beautiful, and it's so glorious. Man, wonder how the Imagineers feel who have been, because I know they've been on this cruise and like the project team and everything. I wonder how they feel knowing that this was a successful first cruise. Yes, there were some things not done. Yes, some things were not finished. But, and like there were still things that we noticed that they were still working on. Like right now, we can literally walk by. They had multiple lights pulled down and everything while they were working on them. But I wonder how they feel knowing that they made it through the first preview cruise and no major issues, no considerable issues. And the fact that, I mean, what they've been working on for probably 2 to 3 years is finally a reality and going. I want to know how they feel about it, because imagine you just work on projects for 2 to 3 years, they're done, on to the next project. But what does it feel like to actually see it in the state it is now, where it's done, it's over, it's being utilized as every way as it meant to be? Want to know how that looks. Like I want to know how that feels, because this ship was everything and everything we needed and everything we expected. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's glorious. I'm blown away, speechless, and have no words for this ship. One last look at the Skipper Canteen or Skipple Society. One last time, it's no more Haunted Mansion. Oh, it's such a cool space. Sad. Oh, why? This is cruel. This is cruel. This is the most cruel thing. I hate this. Though the last time we were here, we got to walk in. Now, walking off. This is the most. It's the most depressing way you can leave. Bye, Disney Treasure. You're a wonderful ship. Thank you for 7 great nights. Especially all the cast and crew. You guys were amazing. And our server, Betty, was amazing. If you go on the Disney Treasure all the way through May, you can request Betty. She was fantastic. She was amazing. And she usually works on the Magic. And they moved her to the Treasure. And I can see why. She was great at her job, but everyone else was great, and I'm so sad to be leaving. Now you don't even get a Mickey porthole to walk through on the way out. Alright, so finally disembarked from the Disney Treasure, and what a wonderful week it was. So kind of want to quickly go over We're going to quickly go over how debarkation does go on a Disney cruise, just so you guys have an idea what to expect, what you can anticipate, and everything else. So the first and foremost, the day before, you're going to end up with some of these in your room. These are luggage tags. Now, there are 2 types of things you can do. Either do based on the luggage tags, or you can do express walk-off. Easiest, simple way, express walk-off means you keep all your luggage and you walk off the ship on your own. Do not wait for your luggage to be taken down, put in its designated location, and you leave. And you can pretty much get off as soon as the ship is been cleared by local customs. And so you could do that, or you can wait for this. Now, for us, because we were in no rush and we are locals, we didn't want to wait super long, so we wanted to stay on the ship as long as possible. And so we did this. So what we were waiting on was we were waiting for them to call the Gray Daisy. Now, sometimes they do have to call it in more, like a more direct order. They may call one, then this, then something else. But this really kind of gives you a chance to kind of hang out on the ship a little bit longer. You got to be out of your room by 8 a.m. But it gives you a chance to hang out on the ship up till about 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock, especially at Port Canaveral, because they do need to get you off the ship ASAP so they can start getting the next group of people onto the ship. Now, when it comes to food, you can still do 2 things. So, where you ate dinner the night before for your rotational dining is where you eat breakfast the next morning. So for us, we ate at Plaza de Coco for our last dinner. So that morning, as you saw, we ate at Plaza de Coco. If you're doing express walk-off, you can actually go up to Marcelline Market. They do have that open fairly early for you to be able to get some food and get off the ship and head on out. So you can't eat in either one of those 2 places. There is no shopping available. None of the lounges are open. None of the cafes are open. And so that's just something to keep in mind, that the only place you can get food are those places. And there's no characters out and about. So really the ship is not, it's not like what it was for the last 7 days. So then once you get off the ship, they scan you out one last time to make sure you're off the ship. Then you go through local customs, and from there, especially at Port Canaveral, you can either head back to the parking garage like we did, or you can pick up the bus transfers to back to a Disney hotel. You can pick up Ubers, you can pick up Lyfts, you can pick up any sort of transportation to take you over to MCO, aka the Orlando Airport. So it's very simple, very straightforward. Like I said, they do want you out of your room by like 8 a.m. However, we were told by our stateroom host that really they don't need us out until like 9, because they have like only 5 hours to completely deep clean the room and get it ready for the next round of people. So, yep, debarkation's very simple. The other thing is that if you do the luggage tag, is that this has to be out the night before by 10 p.m. Can depend, but for us it was by 10 p.m. we had to have this out so you could pick it up. What the great thing about it is they do then store it for you. They then take it down to the area where you pick it up, and you don't have to worry about like taking around the ship as needed. So it's actually kind of a neat little feature if you're not in a rush or you have a lot of little kids and you've got like, a decent amount of luggage and you don't mind taking your time getting off the ship. This is a great option because then you can get them up, even though you have to get them up kind of early still. This still is a great option. Some of our final thoughts, really quickly, I do want to quickly show you some of the merchandise that we did end up getting. Really, there's a few handful of things. The biggest thing is my Spirit jersey, my Disney Treasure Spirit jersey. I have a Spirit jersey from every Disney cruise that we've been on, and hopefully every cruise I ever go on, because I do know other cruises do have Spirit jersey as styles. So this now goes to my collection with my Disney Magic and my Disney Dream, even though I cannot wear my Disney Magic because there's a giant black spot right there on the sleeve. So, my own fault. So the next thing was my ship model. So I really love the ship models. I have a Disney Magic and a Disney Dream. Been on the Magic twice and the Dream once. Maybe be going on the Dream in the springtime at some point. So won't be able to add anything else to that collection. But the model was really super cute, and it was not one of those items that ended up selling out fairly quickly. So I do love it. I like the detail, but we also just like it because of it shows us what cruises that we've been on. The other thing was, Kayla got a lot of pins. I say Kayla got a lot of pins, but we both got a lot of pins. We got some inaugural Disney Treasure pins. We've got some basic new cruise line pins and everything else. So it's super, super nice to have those. They're really cool. And hopefully, like I said, I should show you guys all of those pins as I'm talking because they're really unique pins to look at. So final thoughts on the Disney Treasure. This cruise ship, I think, is going to become the new fan favorite. For a long time, it has been the fantasy, the main go-to, the fantasy. But I truly believe it is the itinerary that really makes this cruise this special. Being on 7 nights gives you plenty of time to explore the ship, get to experience everything, get to have relaxing. My biggest complaint is we really want to go on the Wish, but the Wish only does 3 to 4 night sailings, and the only way you really can get a full time is I feel like you have to do a minimum of 5 nights. Now, I know not everyone can do 5 nights, and I know 3 nights are usually really good for some people because they can do a weekend trip, but if you're really looking at wanting to experience cruising and really take the time to understand it, 5 nights is great. The only real biggest complaints from our Treasure cruise, and I mean, I'll be frankly honest, a lot of the pools were still closed. So the adult only section, and I do believe it was just because for the time being, I know as I'm talking now, the cruise should be on its maiden voyage. So maybe it has been changed. But in the aft on deck 13 is the adult only section, and they do have some really nice pools back there. The entire time we were on our cruise though, they were never open. So unfortunately, we couldn't get to see it out. We couldn't get to check any of that stuff. And also the other weird part was they only had 1 hot tub on the ship that wasn't in concierge or for the Census Spa. Because they said there's 3 hot tubs. There was 1, and it was in the adult only section. And it was fairly small for a ship that can hold close to 4,000 people on it. So my only complaint about that. When it came to the food, it was fantastic. The first night at World of Marvel wasn't the best food in the world, and then I think it was Plaza de Coco the first night. Wasn't like, as someone said in one of the videos, traditional Tex-Mex food. The food was good, but you go into that mindset you're not getting traditional Tex-Mex food, but the food was very good still. It was very different, it was unique, and I kind of like that. I do love the second night though, because then you got some really good, you got some enchiladas, they gave chips and salsa every time you're at Plaza de Coco. And the show at Plaza de Coco was absolutely amazing. The only downside I find is that if you're in one of the outer tables, it's going to be really, really, really hard to see the show. And I mean, I know it's very limited space on a cruise ship, so you have to make where you can. But I did like that they did end up walking around for the second night show. You know, the mariachi band, Miguel, then Dante was flying around. And so it was a very cool experience. Overall, this cruise ship was just absolutely beautiful. It was everything we could have anticipated. And our room was amazing. It was a great, accessible room for Kayla's grandma. It was fantastic. It worked out wonderful. She didn't have to worry about stepping in and out of a tub while the ship was rocking. It gave her more space to move around a little bit more. The people next to us had 2 scooters, and they said that the scooters fit in there perfectly. And then, so it was really nice to just be able to experience that type of room. Plus, like the veranda, I didn't even think about it until I was looking at a video later on, that there is a little ramp that takes you in and out of the room. So if you are limited to only a wheelchair, especially one of those electric wheelchairs, it was a wonderful thing to have so you can get in and out of the room and go onto the balcony, and you're not secluded just being in the room. But the other downside about the cruise is they do only have the 2 sets of elevators. Now, I never felt like I was waiting a long time for an elevator. Now, we always do the thing when it is very busy. We kind of avoid the elevators and try to find different ways up and down the decks. But I never felt that we were waiting a long time for an elevator. They moved very quickly. They were in and out. I just wish they had midship elevators. Even if they just went up to like deck set, like up to like deck 5 or deck 3, like just between those decks, I think it would have been perfect for that. So, but I really, really enjoy the Disney Treasure. I think anyone who's going to go on the Disney Treasure, I think you're going to absolutely love it. I think it's a beautiful ship. It's a great addition to the Disney Cruise Line, and it makes me really stinking excited for the Disney Destiny when it debuts. I'm hoping we get to go on a preview cruise for that. I'm not holding my breath because we were fairly lucky to go on this one, and so if we get to go on the Disney Destiny, I'll be super excited, and once again, we'll take you on everything. But overall, our Disney Treasure Cruise Week officially, unfortunately, comes to a unfortunate end, but not without some great memories, some great time, and overall wonderful time. So, but if you guys did enjoy this video and you want to check out the rest of the videos from our cruise, make sure you check out the playlist because I have everything in there, and I will be adding a couple other snippets of some of the shows we got to see, including the sail away party for the Disney Treasure. So make sure you check those out, and all the other videos we have from our cruising adventures, and also just anything else. And if you haven't done so, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are hoping to be going on potentially 2, maybe 3 Disney cruises next year, so make sure you do check out for that. But with all that being said, though, as I head on out, because it is the end of Disney Treasure Cruise Week, I will see y'all next time.